As Group 1, we feel that the value of love of animals is towards the bottom of the list of many Billings community members' value system. It is our hope that by this video and our presentation, we will show you that the value of animals is more important than most people think. It is our hope that by the end, people will reconsider their placement of the love of animals on their value list and move it towards the top. We feel that animals are important to human beings' well-being and should be treated with dignity and respect. Although this video mostly aims at the pet aspect, such as cats and dogs, we realize that the conditions of the livestock here in Montana are not always the best, and we hope that through our presentation we will also show that this needs to be improved as well. Our group also feels that respect for the livestock that we eat is also important. Whether or not they are living in our homes with us as pets, they still deserve to be valued before we slaughter them. It is our plan to not only have a pet parade to gain awareness and to adopt the dogs that are in the pound, but also to place stamps on the meat products in the stores so that people are able to see how their animals' living conditions were before they were slaughtered. Recently, I made a trip down to the Billings Animal Shelter to see the conditions of our community's animals.
I'm the Animal Control Supervisor here at the Billings Animal Shelter. I've been employed at the Billings Animal Shelter now for 28 years. I spent the first 15 years of my career as an officer in the field, and the last 13 years now as the supervisor of the shelter. We'd have one room for strays that would give us an opportunity to keep them separated.
This year, 512 cats have been brought in by animal control or the community members. Also, 410 stray dogs have been brought in. Sadly, euthanasia is the end result for some of these animals.
Well, euthanasia, is an expense, and I guess I would say that we're looking at approximately $300,000 a year to operate the shelter. As an average, you starting from beginning till today, I would have to say the average of about 2,000 of those a year were euthanized. So I'd have to say about 56,000 animals that have come through the door since I began here have ended up with euthanasia.
And what is the biggest cause, or why are so many animals being euthanized?
I think you have to put it towards irresponsible pet ownership. Unfortunately, we do pick up a lot of dead animals off the streets, and the kitties are most often the ones that we do.
Currently, the City of Billings has a leash law that states that every dog, cat, and small animal must be leashed while in public. A first offense is $20, after that is $40, and it continues to double until it is enforced. Do you think the leash law has been beneficial?
To the cats so far, I can't say so. I do think it's been very beneficial to the dogs. If I say in 1981 I started here, we euthanized close to 5,000 animals that year, and I can say that in 2008 it looks like those numbers are going to be down to under 1,000. Definitely, I think the leash law is a great part of what has helped to bring those numbers down for the dogs.
All around Billings, in all sorts of parks, you see signs like these. Currently, the City of Billings does not allow dogs in the park. However, this is not the case in other places. In Seattle has over 100 dog-friendly parks, and 11 are leashless.
I know that nationally they have worked well, and a lot of people are very enthusiastic about them. I do know that the City of Billings Parks Department is now meeting and discussing putting some dog parks here in Billings, and I'm sure that they're looking for funding on the actual building of the parks. So they're looking at areas now to try to set one up and see how it's going to work.
Although there has been a recent expansion with the Billings Humane Society, there is still not room to house all of the animals that come in. Recently, Help for Homeless Pets has stepped in to help the Billings Humane Society.
Okay, well, the Save a Life program basically was set up to give the animal rescue groups an opportunity to take an animal from the animal shelter prior to euthanasia. The Save a Life program has saved our life and saved a lot of lives this year. I know that close to 500 animals have gone through the Save a Life program to the rescue groups, but even the animal organizations that are out there trying to help us are filling up and can't take all that are coming in.
Although not overly publicized, cruelty to animals is occurring in the Billings area.
Animal control is also a part of the Billings Animal Shelter at this point in time. I am the animal control supervisor. Most often cruelty that we deal with is the animals left in hot vehicles in the summer, or those that don't get proper shelter and care in the winter and are left outside. I'm going to say that we probably write 20 to 30 citations for cruelty a year. It's probably more. I'm probably underestimating. The serious cruelty charges, though, I'm going to say that we run across to about 2 or 3 of those a year, where it is an actual beating or injuring of an animal in a serious fashion. Leaving your animal in a hot car is downright cruel, but unfortunately what you'll find is the ignorance on the people's part, not knowing what they're actually doing to their pets by doing so.
Although no dogs have been euthanized this year due to a lack of space, on my visit to the shelter I saw over 30 adoptable dogs, and help for homeless pets is about at capacity. You are precious. You are precious. As is usual for the shelter, the cat numbers have been harder to keep under control.
Hopefully find an owner.
30 pounds.
But you're nothing but belly, aren't you? Cats, it's different. Cats, when we're talking about 477 that have had to be euthanized this year, that yes, I know there are times, and we are always full with cats.
It is our hope that the Billings community can help take animals from a life like this to a life like this.